Hello everybody, it's EzraTime again here. Welcome back to another movie review video. And today we're gonna be reviewing Halloween 1978, the original Halloween, obviously by John Carpenter, the great John Carpenter. And I decided to do this review because well, it's nearly Halloween, right? It's 2 days away from me for October 31st. So I thought that well, I might just well end the month with the Halloween review video, So here we are. So yeah, so I actually have my first experience for Halloween 1978, the original Halloween, let's just call it that, um, is when I watched the trailer for Halloween 2018. Because I'm not really familiar with the character Michael Myers, even though I kind of see the picture, because I was familiar with Jason. Jason is the first character that really familiar with, from Friday the 13th, obviously, and then you got Freddy Krueger. There's the second character, and then Michael Myers is like the third one, and I believe I stumbled upon Michael Myers when I saw I was browsing about Jason Voorhees, and then suddenly there's a guy with a white mask, and then his name was Michael Myers, and I was like, oh, so this guy is also iconic, I'm not really familiar then, and then the trailer for Halloween 2018 came out, and I was like, oh, like I kind of want to watch this. It's actually, I think it's gonna be a good slasher movie in my opinion. So I decided it was the original Halloween, and it was like wow, it was an amazing experience, So as usual with the review, we're gonna go to the positive part, and then maybe I mention some negative part about this movie, obviously. But yeah, so the good part about this movie is that the entire movie itself has like a 300,000 budget, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Right, it's a small budget at the time, and then obviously, like the movie itself looks. The thing is that the movie looks cheap, but also not really. Like it's pretty clear it was shot in a small budget, clearly, right? But it kind of felt like a big movie for me, because I feel like this movie is an example to how to make a good like filmmaking and stuff like that, and obviously all that credit to John Carpenter, and obviously the cinematography person, Dean Cundy, right? Like it's amazing. Like I think there is so many like creepy white shot, obviously, especially when you see Michael Myers kind of like standing in front of the house, and then you saw him, and then there's a creepy music playing in the background. Like that was amazing. I think that was scary, and I think that's the also the good part about this movie. Like this movie makes well, this is the first time Michael Myers appear, right? And then he is scary in my opinion, and obviously this movie has such a huge impact on the slasher genre that introduced the concept of the final girl, the chase scene and stuff like that, the theme song and stuff like that, right? And I think even Friday the 13th, which came out 2 years after this, like literally rip off Halloween 78, I think, according to James from Dead Meat, right? And it was like, wow, okay. I mean, it kind of insane to see that Friday the 13th actually rip off Halloween first, and then before becoming his own thing, right? And I can see why, because again, so many of the scene was like well directed by John Carpenter, and then Dean Candy also does an amazing job, giving the style of the Halloween era, obviously, because like the whole movie seems like there's a creepy vibe towards them, because it was shot in in a suburban area and stuff like that, and you got like a crazy man just running around with a white mask, right? And William Shatner mask, actually, right? And it's such a simple concept, but it is terrifying in its own way, and obviously the biggest credit that this movie has, in my opinion, is obviously the music itself, which is also composed by John Carpenter, and obviously the Halloween theme, like dun 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 dun, like it was such a creepy music. When I first heard that in the opening credits, I was like, that legit scared me, I mean, right now I'm just like, well, I'm just like hyped to hear the music, but when I first heard the Halloween theme for the first time, it was scary to me. Like I feel it was creepy, and then it was like really setting the mood for the movie, and it's just an opening credit scene, but I was already blown away by the music, and that's how you can tell how great the music was, and obviously there is a bunch of great music as well throughout the movie, and it really adds so much atmosphere to the movie, because you already have the movie well shot, and then you get the music playing in the background, and it just like really uh, complement each other really well, and as for the actors, like Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously, and then obviously the late Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis, like great performance. I think Donald Pleasance has the best performance in the movie. Clearly because like he's like a veteran actor, I think, and then the actress like Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I think this is the first role of Jamie Lee Curtis, as Laurie Strode, and then the first acting in general for her, I think, right, because it was like introducing Jamie Lee Curtis, and she does a decent job for the first actress and stuff like that. Like I think it's pretty effective, even though the screaming and the running at the end might be a bit annoying to some people, but I don't know, I was okay by it, because it wasn't too much, but it was like okay, it wasn't bad either, and I think Jamie and then the other actors does their best to perform the characters, and obviously this movie is written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, right? So I think it's a good writing, and even though the movie doesn't have a much depth character, like I admit that, but it works really well because like it wasn't trying to tell something super deep, It's just trying to tell, hey, there is a man in a mask in Halloween night, and then just gonna go around killing people with no reasons, and that's it, That's basically the premise of the movie, and I think it works really well because it's such a simple movie, but it was just executed really well, and unlike the other slasher movie where it was like, you're just gonna get into the kills immediately, which I guess the movie does open with a great first person shot as Michael Myers kind of like kill his sister Judith, right? Which yeah, I guess he's opened up with a kill, which amazing, is well shot either, but throughout the movie when Michael Myers kind of like went outside of the asylum and then starts stalking, Laurie and her friends, Michael doesn't exactly kill them immediately, and I think John Carpenter does a great job building those moments, by showing that, this is Annie just walking around back and forth, and then you see Michael standing in the background and stuff like that. There's some creepy music playing, right? And it just build up the moment that you have no idea when Michael Myers is going to attack. You just know that he is there and he's going to kill Annie, but when he's going to get in there and kill Annie, you have no idea. You just sit there and it's like wondering, oh my god, like when, and it's like building the suspense, and when the kills happen, it wasn't like, slasher or like flashy and stuff like that. It was like simple kill, and it goes for more an atmospheric kill, and I think that works really well with the Halloween movie because it wasn't like super bloody and stuff like that. It was like actually went for more like an atmospheric feel of it, or like atmospheric like kills, and it was really effective, because that's what you wanted. This movie is all about suspense, and it's not about the gore and stuff like that. It wasn't like that at all. But even with the gore, Michael Myers managed to give us one of the coolest kill ever, which when he kills Bob in the kitchen, and then he stabs the knife, and then obviously does the iconic head tilt, sorry, like head tilt, and I think this is the only time where John Carpenter gonna give the direction for Nick Castle, which obviously the one who portrays Michael Myers, or the Shape, where it's like, oh, tilt your head, and it's like, it was like really iconic scene, because he's kind of like admiring the kill, even though people will say that, well, it doesn't make any sense how the knife managed to like stick out, but Bob's body just like sits still, like in, or like stuck in the wall, like that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but who cares? It's a cool scene, right? It's the most iconic scene, to be fair, and it's like, yeah, it's really really great, but of course, the most iconic scene is obviously the ending itself. I guess a bit of a spoiler for people who haven't watched the movie. Well, I guess there's a bunch of spoiler already, because if you haven't watched Halloween, then please go watch it. It's an amazing movie before I spoil the ending. But okay, you good? Now we get to the spoiler for the ending of the movie, which my favorite ending of the movie entire time is that Dr. Loomis just came in, shoot Michael 6 times. I shot him 6 times, right? And then he just fall into the balcony, and then Michael just disappear, and then you hear the Halloween theme playing, and then you see a bunch of shots again, a bunch of white shot where Michael Myers previously seen in the previous scene, obviously, and then it kind of like build the idea that and you hear he's breathing as well, so clearly he's still alive despite being shot 6 times, and that surprises the audience, that surprises me, that because I thought that Michael Myers is just like a normal human being, but it's really clear by the end of the movie he's not normal, he's something else, because he's still alive, he's still breathing, and then the movie kind of ended by showing that, well, Michael Myers could be anywhere and no one is safe, and I love that ending, and I think that's the original, like, that's like John Carpenter never actually meant to make a sequel after Halloween 78, because I think he has no story, he has like no more story to tell, and I think this could be a perfect ending, and it could be a perfect one-off movie, and well, I'm kind of glad to get more Halloween movies, because I want to see more Michael Myers, and I think this is a great like one-off movie for the Halloween movie, right? So I guess they decided to make a sequel because it was so popular. Michael Myers was so engaging in the popular culture and stuff like that, and then become like Halloween pretty much become a template for the slasher media, you know. So there you go. So that's what they decided to do Halloween 2, and then to make more Michael Myers movie, right? But yeah, either way, I mean, I'm glad we get more Halloween movies, even though they're not that great. The first one is always gonna be special, right? You know, and I guess for the, if I don't know if there is a criticism for the movie, this obviously, well, Michael Myers can drive for some reason, right? And I think it's more of this moment with the characters that I don't really care that Michael Myers can drive, because it kind of works for the scene where there is a cool scene with when Michael Myers go to school, you know, for some reason, right? And then for some mysterious reason, and then just like stalking Tommy Doyle, right? And then the camera kind of like go behind the car or the back seat, I guess, and then you hear the Halloween theme playing, right? You know, so when you first watched that, you thought that he's going to kill the kid, you know, and obviously he didn't. But it does kind of work because like, well, he's in the car, so the scene really works that well, you know. But at the same time, of course, it doesn't make any sense how the hell he can drive, even though he was in the sanatorium for like what 15 years, right? So like, it doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. You know, it's right there with the character, so what can you do, right? And obviously the character itself, like I mentioned previously, doesn't have too much depth on them, you know, but I don't know. I don't think that's a criticism though, because I feel like the movie doesn't try to do something too deep with its story and with its plot. You know, it was a simple movie basically. That's what they're trying to do. So I don't know. I guess that felt like a nitpick, you know, but I guess that's also objectively a criticism. Like it doesn't have a character depth, and Michael Myers can drive for some reason. But I don't know. Those are the fact that people kind of like go over. It was like whatever, man. It's a great movie, right? Which yeah, it's a great movie. But anyway, that's my review for Halloween 78, guys. I guess I'm gonna leave the question to you guys. You know, what do you guys think about this movie? You know, do you guys love it, or maybe do you guys didn't like the movie? You know, do you guys have any particular reason why you didn't like the movie, or you know, if you guys haven't watched the movie, then please go watch it. Obviously, if it's an amazing classic slasher movie. You know, it got you introduced to one of the most iconic characters of all time, which is Michael Myers, right? Which Halloween Ends kind of ruined his character, to be honest. But you know, Halloween's gonna continue, right? Hopefully, Daniel Harris can continue reprising his role, so like her role as Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4. But I guess we'll see. Either way, Halloween franchise is going to continue, and we'll see where that's gonna go. But either way, that's my review for Halloween 78, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this review, then leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know, share the videos, and click the join button below to become a member for the channel if you want to, obviously, so you guys can support me even further. But yeah, that's my review, guys. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. And again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.